someone, and I'm not saying any names, chewed up my microphone cable. So I tried this, and when I reviewed some audio testing, it doesn't seem like it picks up the audio like from the microphone or anything. But you know what? Maybe it does, so this will do for now. But hey, I'm back and I'm alive. I just finished my exams and fingers crossed it went okay. I don't have answers from any of them yet, but I'm enjoying my freedom while it lasts because I have exams again in just 2 months. So I basically have to go immediately back to studying. Also, now that it's bright outside, it's way more motivating to go out, go to school, study, get up in the morning. It's way easier and just way more fun to study in general. But with summer approaching and the good weather coming in, people might be tempted to take their bird outside. And Charlie and I really enjoy taking her out in harness, going for walks, doing some training. Yesterday we went to a little theme park in the woods. We said hello to some horses and just had some fun with some of my friends. Now, I am a big advocate for taking your bird outside, whether it being in a harness or in a carrier. I won't go over everything on why, but I did make a video on that, you can check it out. But I do highly encourage just getting your bird outside in some sort of way. But I talk about it there, and in this one, I wanted to do something else because Charlie and I likes to go out in harness. However, I do know that many birds may not like the harness or may not be harness trained yet and all that, and so taking them out in a carrier can be easier. But hey, we all need a carrier of some sort when the bird is going to the vet or is just going somewhere. We need to get them in a carrier. It can be a bit hard to get your bird in a harness when the fire alarm goes off and you have to leave the building, for example. So, you know, just having a carrier is a very good thing. And so you might be wondering, which carrier should you get for your bird? And there are tons of different carriers, both for birds and some for dogs and cats that you can still use or modify to fit your bird. But this is where this video gets exciting because I finally got this amazing carrier that I wanted to share with you guys and just give my opinion on, give some criticism. So without further ado, so for those who are unaware, this is the BirdTricks, this is the BirdTricks TrackPack, which is launched by another couple of YouTubers called BirdTricks, and they are absolutely amazing. You should go check them out. And this is the TrackPack that they, with Ibiyaya, which is a pet backpack travel carrier company, made this backpack with. So I have actually had it for a couple of months because I have just been extremely busy, but that also means that I have had the chance to try it out. And so I have some things that I wanted to highlight about it, and also some criticism because you always need that in a review. And maybe it will help some of you guys that might know this one but don't know if you want to buy it or just haven't heard about it, and therefore you should know that this, I'm just gonna say it, is the best bird backpack that you can get. And just before I start, I want to say, just for good measure, I'm not sponsored by BirdTricks. I reached out to them asking if I could do a review on their backpack, and they said it was totally fine. So just so you know, I'm not sponsored. This is just my opinion. I want to get out there so that more people are aware of this backpack existing. So this is how the backpack looks, and it does only come in one color, but I am a big fan of beige, so no complaints. And I know one of the goals were to use a more natural color so that it's not these very bright colors, a bright pink or bright blue that you normally see on the backpacks on Amazon or any similar products. And I actually really think that they do a great job achieving this just with the shape. It's very natural backpack looking rather than being an animal carrier. The first backpack that Charlie had was very wide and very chunky looking, so it just created a lot of unused space. So the front zipping part is made of this netting, which apart from the usual, you know, backpacks, carriers, whatever, they usually come with this plastic front. And if you don't know, the sunlight, the UV rays won't pass through these plastic panels, so your bird won't actually get any vitamins by being out in these carriers. So this netting will not only make sure that your bird gets some vitamins from the sun just by being out with you, but it will also keep them from overheating as easily because, you know, it's basically a sauna you're creating with those normal plastic panels. The downside of having the netting instead of the plastic panels, however, is that the birds can way easier chew it, but they actually have a very smart way of fixing this, which I will get to later. And then of course you also have the secondary layer that you can just roll down that attaches to the netting via some Velcro. The whole backpack is, by the way, waterproof, so if you're outside and it's raining, the water will just go off. You can sort of see it in this clip here, and you can also see that my fingers are wet so that the backpack is not absorbing any of the water, and it's still very easy to clean. Here I'm also scrubbing off some poop that Charlie got on it, so when your bird poops on it, because I think they will, it's much easier to clean and it doesn't have any stains or anything on it from the poop. Super easy to clean and waterproof all over. Then it also comes with 2 side pockets that can either be attached in like the front or at the sides of the backpack, and I find myself using these just for like normal treat bags things, and that's why there's this hanger on it. It's not something that comes with it, but it's so that I can attach it to my pants or my jacket and just use it for normal treat bags. Then of course you might have noticed the big front pocket with a zipper, and I use this for Charlie's food and harness. And may I just say, for someone who regularly forgets things, it's extremely nice to just be able to store all of Charlie's things in one bag, so that when I need to have Charlie looked after, which you may know that I often do, my mom often looks after Charlie, it's very nice to just be able to store all of the things my mom needs in one bag, so that I don't have to think about moving her food from my own stuff to her or anything like that. So it's just very practical for me, especially to be able to store Charlie's thing in one place. Talking about storage, on the back there will also be a big pocket and a seatbelt attacher, so that you can safely have the backpack in like your car without it sliding around. Now inside the backpack you will, for the first time purchasing a bird product, not find a dowel perch, but instead a hemp rope perch, which actually is way softer than it looks. I was a bit concerned that it might be one of those very rough rope types, but it's not. It's actually pretty soft. Then there is a stainless steel bowl with clippers that you can attach to keep it in place. Charlie bites those off though, so I just keep them stored in the bag. And we haven't had any problem with her like taking out the bowl or anything. She just don't like those clippers, so we won't have them on, but it is an option. It also comes with toy hangers in the top, and there are 3 of those, and then in the bottom there is a tray. And this is probably the coolest part about this backpack and why it is a good investment, and that is that you might notice these mesh pieces all around on the inside, and that is actually to keep the bird from biting in the fabric and destroying the bag, which is the reason why I had to buy a new one, because Charlie slowly chewed her way out of the old one. And these cover the entire inside of the bag and can also be applied to the netting, so that the bird can't destroy that either, but is still able to somewhat look out. Okay, so assembling this thing, I'm gonna try not to sound too stupid right now, but I had a hard time. I'm not gonna lie, I was struggling. I actually considered disassembling it for this video so that I could do it on camera, but I really don't want to. Don't get me wrong, you get a manual and it's easy enough to find all the parts, and it leads you gently through the whole process. But because all of the panels are attached with Velcro, I just got really frustrated making everything fit, because if one panel wasn't all the way on the edge, or like 2 centimeters this way or 1 centimeter this way, it wouldn't fit at all, and like none of the panels would fit. And maybe I'm just dumb, but it took some time for me to get it right. But I mean, let's be honest, if you think about it, you have to assemble it once and then never again, hopefully. So, I mean, yes, it's criticism, but I don't really see it as that big of a red flag if it takes a little longer time to assemble something, because it's just one time. So the backpack is made for like medium birds to small birds. So you can adjust the perch according to how large your bird is. And may I just say, Pinus have a really awkward size when it comes to this, because Charlie is just small enough to us where it isn't awkward to have the high setting, if you can say that. But if she was any bigger, her head would go like on the netting. But if I put her down, it just looks stupid because then she is like too far down. And I don't know, it's just a very awkward size because they're not an Amazon, but they are a bit bigger than a conure, so it gets a bit awkward. But overall, I think it fits the size of birds that it is intended for. So after using the backpack, I have noted a few things about it that I'd like to highlight. So I absolutely love that you have these protection panels in the front because Charlie needs them. However, I wish they were just more see-through because I can barely see Charlie when I have them on in the train, for example. And Charlie has sometimes done contact calls because my theory is she can't see me either that much. So I really like them, like we need them, and your bird will of course get those lovely vitamins and all. I just wish that it could somehow be more see-through. Another thing about the front panels is that it just makes the front very stiff, and so you can't roll the front up as you normally can, and it just gets very hard to work with. But I do get that it's just the material, and I also don't really see a solution to it myself. But it is something to be aware of since the front is probably the most vulnerable part of the backpack in terms of the bird destroying something. And so protecting it from a bitey bird is something you want to do, but just be aware that the front will just be a bit harder to work with and it won't be as see-through as you might want it to. But I totally do get that it's probably not the intention to, you know, being able to fold up the front and all that with the panel on. It is mostly for long rides, I can imagine. So for that, it's totally fine, but more see-through would be nice. Now I do like to have it on for longer travels, just so that I don't have to stop Charlie from biting in the front for 3 hours or something. But else our little solution have been to just not have it on, and then whenever we travel, Charlie will have her harness on and still be in the backpack, but I will just have the front open so that she will just sit and enjoy the ride with me in her harness and just have the backpack as basically like a little poop tray. Now this one doesn't bother me as much, but I did see someone comment on it, so I just wanted to mention it, and that is the fact that the tray can be a bit tricky to get out. So it sits very nice and firmly in the bottom. It is also attached with Velcro so that it won't slide around. However, because it's attached with Velcro, and also because the only way to get it out is to remove the whole panel you have here, which I already said can be a bit tricky. The reason it doesn't bother me is because I just reach my hand in the carrier and can easily fold the paper lining with all the poop and food and throw it out. But I can see that getting the tray out every time by going through the panels and stuff can be a bit rough. Also, they don't mention this one in the manual, and it took some time for me to figure out, which I'm totally not embarrassed about. But this outer part of the front can be held up by the elastic part. But I, for the life of me, could not figure out how the net thing was supposed to hold itself up, because the elastic was sewed on the outside of the netting. But I knew that it was possible because I saw like the netting part being folded up in all the BirdTricks videos and in the pictures that they had attached and so on. And this took me way too long to figure out, but the solution was to literally just fold it under the handle on top. I'm smart sometimes, okay? But that's my overall criticism really. So you have the tray, and you have the front panel, and then the assembling being a bit wonky. But as you can probably tell from like just the whole run over of the functions and the materials and all that, this is a really awesome backpack. And in my opinion, probably the best one you will find on the market right now. And now I've had three sort of travel carriers for Charlie, where one of them were just a regular dog or cat crate from the pet store. But the other two were actually, you know, made for birds, and I bought them off of Amazon. And this is just sort of to compare the quality that you're getting, because both of these Amazon packs, like when I got the package home, I opened it, and you just get hit with this plastic, synthetic odor. You kind of know which one I'm talking about, I think. But with this one, you get this very freshly new smell. So it's just to make you aware that you are getting a quality backpack. It's sort of like smelling bad pellets versus Tops pellets. Getting a bit controversial here, I know, but you can smell that it's good. However, you are paying for that quality, I will say that. No offense to BirdTricks, I absolutely love them and I want to support them. So if buying a little more expensive backpack where you still pay for the quality, I'll gladly do it. And as I kind of got into earlier, this is probably more of a one-time purchase than any other bird carrier, just because you can buy those replaceable panels. They also are a bit pricey, I will say that, but at least it's not a whole new backpack that you have to get every single time. So overall, it's a good investment. The backpack itself is very sturdy. The panels are very sturdy. It's just overall really good quality backpack. Just to make you guys aware, I think they are produced in the US, or at least they're sent from the US, I think. So if you are going to buy one and it's not located in the US, you are going to pay quite a bit for shipping. I paid, and I'm not kidding, almost over half of the price of the backpack itself just to get it shipped to Denmark. So it can be quite expensive in shipping. Of course, that's nothing on BirdTricks' part, that's just how it is. So just so you are aware of it, if you're saving up for the backpack, you need to save up for the shipping as well if you're getting it, you know, far away from the US. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, that's it for me. I am very glad that I got to get this video out there because, as mentioned, I'm already busy in 2 months because of exams. So that is my prioritizing. Sorry about that, but I only think it's natural and you guys seem very understanding of that, so thank you so much. And until then, Ashley from Pinus Tales can keep you company with some good Pinus content if you're missing some. But other than that, I will see you guys later.